I meant to show this on my stream and I forgot. My parts compartment system. Have you noticed now it doesn't spin forever? And you may or may not be able to see from here, but it's got an acrylic clear top. Someone mentioned that on last week's stream, and I wasn't sure how I'd do it. I thought it was a pretty cool idea, but I had a bit of a play, and I'll show you how I'll put it together. So obviously I'm not using the parts in there yet. I'm a little bit concerned about the durability, and what I did is actually got rid of the idea of having the turntable on top connected to here. I can always do this if I really need to, or I can work like this, work on my parts here, whoops, and I can just rotate and grab the parts I need from here, I guess, for now, as long as I've got a place to put the parts. So I'll show you how I did this. Took a bit of brain bending, but I'll pull it apart again. Let's put it together. It just clips together and back out. So I've got the acrylic, you can't even see it with the lighting. I've got the acrylic top, and it's got some little, how do I show you clear? I can't. It's got some little bits that stick out, and obviously the section where you can see through and pick the parts. And then this here is actually its own piece, which is wedged in nice. Let me see if I can get it out. Alright, without breaking it. Okay, so this is the same base I had before. Actually, no, it's a new version of the base. I apologise. With this section here lower down, and then we've got this outside piece has got around the side of it bits that clamp in the bottom and bits that hold the top. There's also like a 1mm rim on the inside. I know it's not a lot, 1mm. It sits down 2mm because the acrylic itself is 2mm thick, and it only sticks out a little bit, but that's all it really needs, because these sections here that the acrylic sits in, there's 4 of them, that kind of holds it, and it sits directly against this centerpiece, so it's, you know, there's no give in it, it's pretty still, and then this just gives it a little bit extra support. So there's that, and then there is what I did on here. Let me see if I can get this apart without breaking it. I hope so. So someone came up with the idea of felt. I didn't have any felt, but what I did have was, if I can get it apart, I really don't want to snap it. I don't want to have to print another one. Screwdriver. I need thinner fingers. Oh, got it. So, I've just put some, double-sided Velcro. Well, I've just put the soft side of the Velcro here. And when I reprinted this, I made these spokes a little bit lower, so there was a little bit of room to take most of the Velcro, because if I didn't do that, the thing wouldn't move at all. And so there's still quite a bit of friction. I could have made it maybe a little bit narrower, but as you can see, everything just clips together, so that this frame around here is really just sitting into the base in these grooves. And this is the same one I had before. I didn't really want to redo this because it took ages to print. Now, yeah, if I was going to do it all again as a manual one, and maybe I will one day when I can be bothered, because designing this was a real pain. Fusion 360 is not great at doing compartments like this where you've got angles inside, and also I don't want to redo all the stickers and put them back in again. That'd be a pain. But if I put that in, as you can see, it's quite, it does spin, but there's stacks of friction there, but it's enough that I can, from the side, obviously it needs a bit more weight than this right now. It just rotates pretty well, so I can get to my parts pretty quickly. If I was going to do it all again, I would shrink the whole thing down. I mentioned in my stream a couple of weeks ago that it's probably a little bit wide. So like if I'm, where are my tweezers? Here we go, get some tweezers. So if I'm kind of working, that's fine, I can get across here, without this in the way, but the higher up it is, the harder it's going to be to get across. So I think this will work for now, but yeah, if I was ever going to do it again, I'd probably bring it in 2 centimeters, so like a centimeter each side, so the whole diameter 2 centimeters, and make it smaller. One of the reasons I didn't originally was obviously these compartments, they go on an angle, eventually they get to 0 here, So I was worried they'd be too narrow, but I could easily get them back another centimetre. And it doesn't matter how narrow they get, there's still plenty of room inside there to put components, quite a lot of components. So let's see if I can put this back together again. It's surprisingly sturdy, I gotta say. I haven't glued it or anything. Like, I'm a bit worried about it falling apart at some point. So, you know, I don't want to get to the point where I fill it all with a million little tiny passives and then all of a sudden I go to move it and it falls apart. Oops, I put that on the wrong spot. We're doing well. I've got to stop talking and doing stuff at the same time. I can always glue it, but I don't want to glue it until it's done, until I know I don't want to pull it apart again. Here we go. It's got the opening here for my finger, so I needed to put this in the right spot. And I wasn't paying attention. So as you can hear, it clips in really nicely. So it's quite in there, like it's really much sturdier than I thought it would be. And then the top here just clips in as well. But I would really like to secure it 100%. Like with some glue. Some type of glue would be really good. Is it in? Nope. Come on. So it says a very tight fit. Why is that not sitting down? That's not sitting down. Is it in? Yes, that is in. Excellent. So as you can see, there's no, it's you can't push it. The only place you can put a bit of pressure is here because of the opening. And there's not really a lot I can do about that because I need to leave space for my finger to rotate. The narrower I make this, the less I can rotate. I didn't want to have to do this. Alright, so this allows me to get a bit of movement. So this is pretty cool. What I need to do now is build or design a piece that goes into here like a funnel that will kind of lock in here. So it would I get the compartment to where I want it to be, and as you can see, it stays pretty well. Like I can get my thing in, I can get pieces out. It really doesn't move around, so it should be good. Anyway, that goes into here, and it'll lock it in place because it'll go further in. And it's just a funnel that I can kind of pour parts into, so it'll have a big opening up here. So I don't have to worry about, you know, them moving around or bouncing. And the other thing is I still haven't really worked out how I'd lock this in place. But now that it's, you know, got a lot more friction, it should be okay. And I can always just tape it if I need to so it doesn't move. So there's not a lot of give. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see with the camera. There's about 1 mil on the bottom for movement. And it doesn't really, I mean I can push it like this, but when it's rotating it doesn't really bounce up and down. The top has a little bit more give than I probably would have liked. I think I would have liked to have the top a little bit closer to the inside. And the way to do that would be to reprint the bottom with this center post 1 mil lower. So I reckon I could get it down 1 mil and still have enough clearance for easy spinning. And then reprint the sides 1 mil lower. And I might do that at some stage. But not before I'll have to do it before I stick it all together. Yeah. So there it is. That's my compartment drawer. And I'm pretty sure I could work like this if I need to. The only problem is this moves around a little bit because this is so slippery now. When it was a 3D print, it didn't because of obviously the texture. I don't really want to just some solder post. I don't really want to stick this down onto here if I don't need to. And I think this is a little bit high to work. Maybe I could reprint this and make it thinner now that I've got this. I don't know. At some point I might make a new top, cut it out and continue on putting a turntable on here. I can get it lower than this, but the problem is I couldn't, it was still too high. Anyway, that's it. There you go. You get to see my compartment system. I really want to use it, but I'm really scared to fill it with parts and then have them all get mixed up and then have to throw them all out. That would be a real shame. I mean, obviously, anything that isn't a cap or even a resistor, anything that isn't 0402, I wouldn't lose. I'd be able to resort them. Even the LEDs I could resort because they look different. And obviously the 0603 10 microfarads are fine, but everything else I'd lose. I'd have to just chuck them out. Or I'd have to go through hundreds and hundreds of passives and measure them and try to put them back in the right spot. That'd be a nightmare. In case you didn't see or notice, this is all just Tiny Pico stuff. So the only thing that isn't in here for the Tiny Pico is obviously the antenna, the USB connectors, the CP2104, and the Pico D4 itself. And they will just be loose. They'll sit outside here. Okay, this video ended up being much longer than I thought it would be. That's it, folks. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks to all my patrons. You are awesome. I will catch you all next time. Bye.